Ogun ex-governor Amoshun asked Tinubu government not to negotiate with Chinese company. So wetin you go come do now? If you no negotiate with them, wetin go come happen? Oh God. The news in detail, please. The Chinese firm seized 3 aircraft belonging to the federal government of Nigeria stationed at Paris-le-Bourgat and Basil Morehouse airports. Senator Ibukunle Amoshun, a former governor of Ogun State, had reacted to the ongoing altercation between Zhongshan Fengchen Industrial Investment Co. Limited, a Chinese firm, and the Nigerian government. The Chinese firm seized 3 aircraft belonging to the federal government of Nigeria stationed at Paris-de-Bougat and Bessel Morehouse airports. This was as a result of a contract revoked by the Ogun State government in 2016. The government is the latest attribution effort against Nigeria by a foreign company alleging that Africa's most populous nation reneged on an agreement. The firm, however, said one of the jets was released after it was made aware that President Bola Tinubu would be needing it for a scheduled meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron. Reacting to the development, Amoshu, who was the governor of Ogun State between 2011 and 2019, narrated the role he played in the deal. The former governor, in a statement personally signed by him on Saturday, said he was ready to work with the Nigerian government to ensure that Nigeria is not scammed by the firm or any other entity. The statement, titled Zhongfu Firm is an Impostor, is Chinese against Chinese dispute, rates. Our administration assumed office on 29th of May 2011, very shortly after we took office. Two different sets of Chinese company, Mrs. China Africa Investment FXC and Zhongfu International Investment FXC, laid claims to management right over the Ogun Guangdong Free Trade Zone OGFTZ. The business dispute and rivalry between the Chinese concerns soon became fierce, grounded seamless business activities and threatened public peace and safety within the zone and neighboring communities. There are claims and counterclaims as to who between the two was the lawful representative of the regional joint venturer, Guangdong Province, China, and consequentially who had the right to manage the zone. Zhongfu International Investment FXC, pretending to be a concerned and genuine tenant and zone stakeholder, volunteered very damaging and destructive information about the official representative of Guangdong Province, the joint venturer, and the lawful zone managers. China Africa Investment FXC and subsequently requested to be appointed as interim zone managers. Based on information at the disposal of government at the time, Zhongfu International Investment FXC was on the 15th of March 2012 appointed as interim zone manager pending further evaluation. The whole idea was to ensure that someone was in charge and thereby prevent unwholesome and untoward development in the zone pending the completion of a fact-finding exercise. It was later discovered that the information and claims volunteered by Zhongfu International Investment FXC against China Africa Investment FXC were tissues of lies. Unknown to Ogun government at the time, Zhongfu International Investment FXC merely sought to demarket China Africa Investment FXC and to surreptitiously covet the state-owned asset of Guangdong Province in China, together with the zone ownership and the management right of their business rival. It was further discovered much later through the intervention of the Chinese government via diplomatic note 1601 dated 11th of March 2016. The government of the People's Republic of China via its diplomatic note 1601 dated 11th March 2016 clarified to the Ogun State government that China African Investment FXC was the rightful investor. After due consultation with the relevant organs of government, we gave effect to the request of the Chinese government. We do recall that Zhongfu International Investment FXC approached Nigerian courts in different jurisdictions to ventilate its legal and business right. They lost all their 4 cases in court. It's continued. We also consulted with and took advice from the State Security Services and the supervising agency, NEPZA, NEBZA, on the best way to proceed. Accordingly, received Zhongfu International Investment FXE with formal termination notice dated 27 May 2016. For completeness of record, we must mention that Zhongfu International Investment FXE proceeded to court. Among others, the proceedings in suite number HCT 417-2016. Zhongfu International Investment FXC versus OGFTZ and FCT ABJ CS 601 2016, Zhongfu International Investment FXC versus NEPZA and ORS will help to throw light on this business dispute between two Chinese entities, Zhongfu and China Africa. The final judgment in one other case, suite number AB04-2017, Zenith Global Merchant International Investment Limited versus Zhongfu International Investment FXC, delivered on 29th of March 2017, specifically restrained a reference to arbitration in the special circumstances of the matter being a trade dispute between two Chinese entities, Zhongfu and China Africa, with little or no connection with either Ogun State or the federal government. Not satisfied with the decisions of the various courts, Zhongfu International Investment FXC took its case and wrote petitions at various times to higher authorities in Abuja, the Presidency, Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Inspector General of Police, EFCC, and the National Assembly, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, among others. We successfully defended our actions at all levels before these organs of government, and they all agreed with our position. Shortly after, our administration left office in May 2019. In conclusion, without prejudice to the ongoing efforts of the Ogun State government and the federal government of Nigeria, and with all sense of responsibility, I wish to categorically state that the agreement that was entered into at the inception of the zone in 2007 with our predecessor is what is still in operation, and there was no need for any negotiation or renegotiation of any contract when we came in throughout our 8 years tenure. It is also not true that our administration sent police or any security agents to harass, intimidate, or beat anyone. If there was any such situation, it must have been from among the disputing rivals on the beat to outdo one another. Security agencies can further investigate the allegation and uphold the truth. Nigeria should not give Zhongfu International Investment FXE any listening ear, as doing so will amount to indulging and encouraging an unlawful entity without local standing to appropriate our common patrimony stemming from the above. This matter of Zhongfu International Investment FXC should be treated the way Nigeria treated P&ID case. There is no basis for negotiation. Hopefully, waiting at the talk not true, because we don't even gonna know who they talk to inside this country as far as politicians do again. Alright, on this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of